When it comes to choosing a PC, choosing the correct processor may be the most confusing part. Have you ever seen those stickers on a laptop or a desktop that says Intel Core i3, Celeron, AMD Ryzen? Well, that's the processor type. And if you're wondering how to choose a processor, I'm Alexis and I'll explain it. The processor, or the CPU, stands for Central Processing Unit and is the main chip inside an electronic device. It acts as the brain of the system, managing and sending instructions to other components. Intel and AMD processors are the two main brands of consumer processors for Windows devices. And of course, Apple uses the M chips. We will focus on Intel processors in this video. Intel offers a variety or a wide range of chips, from budget options to high performance computing, and can strike a good balance of performance for both gaming and productivity. Starting with the Celeron processor. It's a budget-friendly entry-level processor chip and is suitable for basic, and I mean very basic, computing tasks. Honestly, I would avoid any laptop that comes with this processor. They are usually very cheap and often people think they are getting a good deal, but they are still bottom of the barrel when it comes to Intel processors. And sitting slightly above this, we get the Pentium processor. In the past, it used to be Intel's high-grade processor, but over time it's been replaced by the much better Core series. So the Pentium is at best just a mid-tier product. It's best for basic tasks like web browsing, email, and document editing. And just like the Celeron, its devices are also very cheap. That being said, I would also discourage anyone that's looking to purchase a PC with a Pentium processor, unless you plan on using it for very, very basic tasks. Now we can move on to the Core series. And here, I actually recommend purchasing these based on your specific needs. We get the Intel Core i3, i5, i7, and the i9, with the i3 being the most affordable and most well-suited for basic everyday tasks, light gaming, and office work. A level higher than this is the Intel Core i5, which offers a solid balance between performance and affordability. It's best used for general productivity tasks, moderate gaming, and content creation like light video editing and multitasking. Then we start looking at the Core i7. Here now we're looking at high performance, which is suitable for demanding workloads, which allows for use cases such as video editing, software development, as well as animation and 3D rendering. It also caters for heavy gaming with higher frame rates and multitasking with resource-heavy applications. Then we have the Core i9, which is the top of the range processor for the highest performance. It's also the most expensive Intel processor. It's used for heavy editing, computer-aided design, simulations, heavy gaming and streaming, as well as for power users who demand the best performance at all times. Choosing a processor is not always so black and white because of the generations. Intel releases new generations of their processors periodically, each with new advancements in technology as well as architecture. Currently, Intel Core processors are on the 14th generation, which came out last year in October. So all the latest Intel Core processors, the i3, the i5, the i7, and the i9, are on the latest 14th generation. This can become a bit of a problem because you can find a lower level processor with a newer generation delivering much better performance than a higher level processor from a previous generation. I will try and illustrate this using cars. Forgive me, I'm not much of a car person, but this should make the point clear. So let's assume that Hyundai releases a range of cars, the i series. So in 2020, they dropped the Hyundai i10, i20, and the i30, each model being better than the previous one. Then in 2021, we have the 2021 variants of the i10, i20, and the i30. Then again in 2022, we have 2022's iteration of the i10, i20, and i30. The same for 2023 as well as 2024. It's true that for that year or generation, the i20 is objectively better than the i10, and the i30 is better than the i20 and the i10. But what's also true is that 2024's i10 could be a better vehicle than 2021's i30, because 2024's i10 is a newer generation with better specs and features that outperform whatever existed back in 2021. The same principle can be applied to processors and their generations. You could get a better performance from a newer generation, lower tier processor chip than a higher tier processor chip from an older generation, like having the Intel Core i5 14th generation performing better than a Core i7 12th generation. So make sure when you're shopping around to also check what generation a chip is before purchasing it. That was a lot, but key points. Stay away from Celeron or Pentium processors. The Core i5 strikes a perfect balance between affordability and performance. So personally, I would recommend that to most users. And also make sure to pay attention to the generation of the chip. And just like that, we now understand what a processor or a CPU is and the different Intel processors that exist and the ones you should avoid and the best use cases for the ones you can consider. In the next I'll Explain It video, we'll look at the other processor types like AMD and the M chips for Apple. So be sure to follow 8th Avenue for more tech terms and concepts, and I'll explain it.